Hello everyone and welcome to another video by Centipede Geek. Today I'm going to talk about the NBC original television series by the name of Hannibal. I'm going to discuss my thoughts and opinions upon episode 6 titled Entree. And without any further ado, let's go ahead and get to it, shall we? So pretty much what we have going on in episode 6 of Hannibal. Of course, we have Will Graham, played by the actor Hugh Dancy, and also Lawrence Fishburne, the actor playing the character of Jack Crawford. We have both Will Graham and Jack Crawford. Pretty much what they're trying to do in this episode is find the Chesapeake Ripper. They have no idea who this is, and what ends up happening is there's actually an insane asylum, and what happens is a person is killed inside of this insane asylum, and the Chesapeake Ripper, as far as they're concerned, has been out of service for about 2 years now until a death happens inside of this insane asylum. Well, they know a person staying there that it seems like a guy by the name of Dr. Abel Gideon, and it seems like this Dr. Gideon guy has committed the murder that has killed the nurse, and they think that this Dr. Gideon guy could actually be the potential threat of the Chesapeake Ripper. So this entire episode, Will Graham and Jack Crawford, and also Hannibal Lecter, helping them out, are all trying to find out who, in fact, the Chesapeake Ripper is. So in this episode, we see several flashback scenes. Jack Crawford's character keeps getting a phone call throughout the episode from the character's name of Miriam. And just so you guys know, major spoilers up ahead. So if you don't like spoilers for your television series, go ahead and click pause. Otherwise, keep watching if you do like spoilers. So like I said, major spoilers coming up. But anyways, what we have going on is, like I said, Jack Crawford keeps getting phone calls from a character the name of Miriam. And she keeps saying, oh, help me. I'm in trouble. I don't know where I'm at. I'm trapped. Come save me. Jack Crawford. She keeps telling them this. So this entire time throughout this episode, Jack Crawford is actually being tricked by whoever is calling him, the Chesapeake Ripper, by whoever is calling him, he's being tricked to thinking she's alive, because we find out actually, I was tricked a little bit too, honestly. We find out at the end of this episode 6, titled Entree, for the NBC original television series by the name of Hannibal, we find out that this character of Miriam is actually dead. And we find out the person who actually killed her was, in fact, Dr. Hannibal Lecter himself. We actually find out that he is, in fact, the Chesapeake Ripper that we have been looking for all along. And I'll be honest, the killer seemed to be right under our noses, but I didn't really suspect it was him. I know Dr. Hannibal Lecter. I know he's a cannibal. I've seen the Silence of the Lamb movies, but I honestly thought that he, I didn't think that he was the copycat in this case. I actually thought that he didn't do the killings. But we learn at the end of this episode that he actually killed Miriam during a strangulation scene. A great scene, by the way. All the flashback scenes in this episode are in a sort of black and white pastel-looking way. Well, they're not a full-on black and white. All the colors are almost black and white, but they have a sort of faded grayish tone where you can still see the kind of colors that are there, but all the colors look very faded, very washed out, and I just really enjoyed that very dark color palette overall. I really enjoyed the way the flashback scenes looked. And then finally at the end, when Miriam got strangled by, the character of Dr. Hannibal Lecter, played by Mads Mikkelsen, when Mads Mikkelsen strangled her, I really enjoyed that scene. That was a great scene. He told her he had some diaries that some journals she could look at for her investigation. He'd climb down the ladder of his office in his library and strangled her. Great scene. Just really enjoyed that. Anyway, so that's pretty much the main plot of episode 6, titled Entree, for the NBC original television series by the name of Hannibal. Of course, like all the other episodes, we have various other things going on, such as, of course, Jack Crawford's wife has cancer. Of course, she's still not telling him everything. She's being very secretive. She's not telling him what's going on, not telling him how the doctor's appointment's going on, and so forth. So Jack Crawford actually comes to Dr. Hannibal Lecter in this episode and says, hey, I need to know what your wife is telling me, because right now, Dr. Hannibal Lecter is serving as a psychiatrist to Jack Crawford's wife. But of course, Hannibal Lecter tells him, no, I can't help you. Sorry, I am under, doctor-patient confidentiality. And of course, Hannibal Lecter is, so what can he say? What else can he say to Jack Crawford, right? But Jack Crawford, he doesn't get mad. He's just a little upset. So, Hannibal Lecter in this episode is almost like a he plays his psychiatrist role very well in this episode. He keeps trying to help out Jack Crawford towards the middle of this episode. He even helps him out towards the end. They sit near the fireplace and they have this nice discussion. It's when the whole flashback scenes happen. Anyways, that's pretty much the main plot of episode 6, titled Entree, for the NBC original television series by the name of Hannibal. My thoughts and opinions on episode 6, Entree. I really enjoyed it. Nothing wrong with it. My favorite thing about the episode was probably the flashbacks it kept showing. I really liked the way that the flashbacks were shown. Like I said earlier, I really liked the way that they connected things overall, did a nice way of connecting things. It gave you more of a backstory, more of a mythology with Jack Crawford's character, so you know more about him. His character is more fleshed out now. Miriam, probably the only time her character will be shown, but I really liked her character. She's like a little minor person that was thrown in there, so we can get to know Jack Crawford a little bit more. Lawrence Fishburne, he's a great actor. I really enjoyed him in this episode. Good stuff. And then all of a sudden, at the end of this episode, it was a great moment, too, a great twist in the episode, when you finally found out that, Dr. Hannibal Lecter is, in fact, the Chesapeake Ripper they have been looking for all along. They've been looking for a killer, and finally at the end, you see some drawings on the desk of, the killings of, in fact, the Chesapeake Ripper, and then everything kind of becomes, you kind of find out, that's kind of when the light bulb clicks, you're like, oh, dang, this is the guy they've been looking for, and he comes down from there, kills the guy, and it just kills the girl. It's a great scene. I knew eventually it was going to lead to, them looking for him, but for these episodes, they've been looking for other killers. I knew sooner or later, I knew that the series was going to, in fact, start actually looking for Hannibal. But just now, 7 episodes in, tonight's episode of 6, but now, 7 episodes in, they're finally actually going to start looking for Hannibal Lecter, though they have no idea that the person they are looking for is, in fact, right under their noses. Great episode, nothing wrong with it, just good stuff all around. One more quick thing I forgot to mention in my review. As always, Hannibal always delivers in the acting department. Hugh Dancy that plays, what's his name? Will Graham. Great actor. Love the dialogue that he delivered. Like I said earlier, Lawrence Fishburne was just great in this episode, playing Jack Crawford. Plays the great, guy. At first, he was just kind of the guy that was, the FBI main guy. He was the one that led all the missions. Well, now you're starting to learn a little bit more about his, who he is and who he is as a character. So not only do we have these murderous killings going on, but we also have the drama going on behind these characters. So it's not all just one, story. It's a mesh of a few different things, and I just love that blend of concepts. And then also, this episode also stars a guest actor by the name of Eddie Izzard. And Eddie Izzard actually plays the guy I talked about earlier by the name of Dr. Abel Gideon. Eddie Izzard plays Dr. Gideon, and I really enjoyed Eddie Izzard in this. I'm not too familiar with him as an actor, honestly. I have only seen him in one thing, I believe. I may have seen him in a few other things, but one thing I am familiar with, and that is the TV special that came on last year that I reviewed, actually, by the name of Mockingbird Lane. He was great in Mockingbird Lane. He was also great in NBC's Hannibal. It's just really cool stuff. I really enjoyed seeing his character. Great acting, really sinister dialogue that he had. I enjoyed him. Anyways, next week's episode is episode 7, titled Sorbet. Sorry if I mispronounced that. All of the episode titles seem to be in the French language, and I don't fluently speak French. Anyways, like I said, episode 7, titled Sorbet, comes on May 9th of 2013, as always, every Thursday night, 9 o'clock Central, 10 o'clock for everyone else. Once again, thanks for watching another video review for the NBC original television series by the name of Hannibal, for episode 6, titled Entree. Make sure to like, comment, subscribe to our page below, and I'll see you guys later with more video reviews by Centipede Geek.